All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. My camera still isn't working. I wish you could see my face because I actually have a smile on it. It has been a long time since I did a video related to drip, mostly because not too much news has been going on. There's been some little projects and stuff working in the background, but nothing that's made a major impact. As you've seen, the drip price has been hanging around at that 1 to 2 cents for a long time. Until the last several days, the hype of DripX has been pushing the price up a little bit. I think it got as high as 8 or 9 cents yesterday. It's kind of flattened out a bit. There were some sellers at the beginning of the launch, whatever. As you guys know, that's kind of the name of the game. That's how things happen. But shout out to Hustleman Matt and Eric the Bandit. Matt and Eric did Pulse Drip and other previous projects. They're really well known in the space now. I've had Matt on the channel for an AMA, so those names and faces should be pretty familiar to you. Now, this protocol just launched about an hour ago, so I want to get this video out. It was a pretty good launch, particularly on this mining side. The staking side was a little bit rockier, and of course, you know, we saw wdrip and a few other things kind of crash. The prices are now building their way back up, and so this is an opportunity for you to use maybe some of those drip bags that you have, or purchase drip fresh off the market, or wdrip, or any of the other combinations or LPs or whatever that you're going to be able to use in the protocol. So far, pretty exciting. But let's dig into the platform because it just launched. It is something that you'll probably want to get in early, like with anything. In DeFi, it seems like, especially when the devs are trusted, you want to get in as early as possible. It's day one, so not financial advice, but if you are already planning on getting in, I would recommend getting in early. Now, there's a couple different sections of the platform you need to be aware of. Most importantly, the mine section, this first tab. This is going to allow you to create individual miners or also batch miners, which is just multiple miners. You can do it all at once. And this functionality is really similar to TitanX. So if you've already involved yourself in TitanX and made a bunch of money on that meteoric rise, then you pretty much already know how to use this platform. They have gone in and changed a few things about the miners and how they work and the inflation or whatever. I won't go too deep into that, but the tokenomics and the way the contract is written is actually superior to TitanX, because obviously TitanX went absolutely insane. A lot of people made a ton of money, and then inflation got a little crazy, and everyone that kind of got it in the end is seemingly wrecked. So improved tokenomics, just be aware of that. What you're going to want to do if you want to set up a miner is first come in here and select the number of days you have. As you can see, it's going to manipulate these numbers over here. So you could go, 13 days or 51 or all the way up to 280 days. But know that only a certain amount of these miners can be sold. So if you try to go do one for 8, those are already sold out. You can't do it. If you try to create it, it would not allow you to. So you may have to come in here and pick some odd numbers. I'll show you my miners here in a second. Just showed you the one I picked. I don't know if I picked the best ones. I don't have the most developed strategy. I never got into TitanX, so I spaced mine out accordingly to what I thought would be good. And I picked them on some odd days so they wouldn't be sold out. So first, pick the number of days you want. Maybe it's 82 days. That's kind of an odd number. And then you need to pick how much of the power percentage you want to add to it. Really, all this is doing is this is changing the amount of BNB that you're going to put in. So you can put in up to 1 full BNB on this side for just a single miner, all the way down to 0.01 BNB, which is about $3.87. So relatively cheap to get in if you have smaller bags. You can run all the way up to $387 on an individual BNB. If you want to do batch, it's just multiple miners under that same transaction that will expire on the same day. So it's just having multiple ones. So if you've got huge bags and you're like, I'm not doing anything under an individual transaction of 5 BNB, you could come out here and say, okay, 5 total miners. That's 1954. You pick the power. Obviously, this would be the total number of 100 would be that full 5 BNB, or you can manipulate it down. I don't know what the benefit would be to having a lot of tiny little miners, so I don't think it makes sense to come in here and say, okay, I'm going to do 1954 across 5 miners. I don't know what the benefit is. Maybe there is. Someone can comment that down below. But to me, this is just a way, if you're more of a whale, to create a larger amount of miners. So you can say, hey, I want to go 36 days. I'm going to go, I just want to do 3 BNB because I want to do 1 transaction. So you throw the 3 BNB in and you'd get 3 separate miners in a batch. They'd all expire on the same day though. So in 36 days, that's their expiration date. So if you're looking to get into this one, that's how you do it. Most of you guys will come in, you'll pick a duration, you'll pick the amount of BNB that you want to. That's going to be reflected here again. So if all you have is 0.42 BNB, that's 162.50. You click create, it'll confirm the transaction, and then if you click manage miners, it's going to pop it over here. So here you can see mine. I don't know if I should be showing this, but here shows my period and everything. I guess I'm already in, so these aren't going to sell out on me. But I picked a 21 day, 31 day, a 60 day, and 116 days. So that's what I've got in there so far. The APRs, or the ROIs, I should say, are extremely juicy right now. This one's all the way up at 78,000%, but these are going to continually drop. They were hundreds of thousands when I first started, so it's still saying my overall would be 33,000, which the 1250 roughly that I put in there would give me $413,197. It would be fantastic if these stayed this way, but of course they won't. They'll drop, but that's why you want to get in early. So you're really gaining a little bit extra during those periods while the ROI continues to drop. So if you're watching it and you're already planning on getting in, you've just been waiting for some content on it, here's a prime example of something you could do. See, my market value just dropped down to 409,000, which is super frustrating. How great would that be if these just stayed the same, and then in 116 days or whatever, I was able to pull my 400,000 and walk away? It'd be pretty cool. Anyway, next up, let's just deal with the staking. So there's a couple different ways you can address this. If you've got Drip in your wallet and you can't figure out what to do with it, there's really no way to get around the fact that you're gonna have to pay that 10% tax to transition over. So if you send, it's like for me, I had a bunch of different Drip in different wallets. I still have some actually in a couple wallets, my smaller bags. But if I tried to transfer all that into one wallet so I could, deal with it as one lump sum, like this wallet that actually has my stakes in it, it would charge me 10% every time I transferred it over, and then it would charge me 10% when I went to go sell it or exchange it for DripX or whatever. So what I recommend doing if you want to play in the ecosystem is swapping it out for wdrip. It's just wrap drip. It will charge you the 10% transaction as you swap it out, but then after that you can transfer it in between wallets. You can swap the wdrip for DripX. So once you've got it, if you've say got the DripX down here, as you can see, I could say wdrip. Make sure your wallet is connected. I've already swapped all mine out. I do have 10 DripX that I left in there just so you could see it, but they've actually integrated the Pancake Swap site here. So if you needed to get your wdrip, you could go straight to Drip. I don't know why it's making me do that again, but you could take your Drip and swap it for wdrip, and then you can swap your wdrip for DripX, and then you can use it in the ecosystem. So this seems to be working pretty well now. I was able to actually get mine through after a while. After trying several times and having a lot of transactions fail, I just decided to wait for like half hour. And then it seemed like when the traffic went down, I was able to get this through with pretty low slippage. 3% is what I got it through with. There was people saying they got it in for 1%, whatever. So just try that out and see what's gonna work for you. But what I had to do is take my wdrip and get my DripX with it. I will post the tokens, the correct tokens in the video in the description down below, so you have them, so you can drop them in. So your Rabby or your MetaMask is aware that those tokens are in your wallet. You can also go to the DripX.win chat, and the little Guardian bot keeps posting all the links and all that stuff in there and all the contract addresses. So just make sure you use the right ones. There's plenty of hype on this protocol, really quite a bit, the most out of any protocol they've ever launched. And if I remember right, Pulstrip got some pretty good juice. So what that means is, since there's a lot of eyes on it, there's plenty of people that are probably gonna want to take advantage of folks putting in the wrong contract address or whatever it is. So just make sure that you are making smart decisions. All right, once you've swapped your Drip to wdrip and Drip to DripX or whatever you want to do, then you're gonna come over here to stake. From here you can select the duration. Can't go less than 28 days, but you can go way up to, I don't even know how high. This does seem to be functioning now where it actually shows you your balance. Before you had to go look in your wallet, see how many you had and type it in, but it looks like it's there. I have 10, right? If I had 66 days, I don't have enough of a minimum to actually stake, I believe. Yeah, it says insufficient DripX balance. But if I did, I could click the number of days I wanted to stake it for and click stake, and then it would put it in the system. This here shows the DripX price, and I'm just looking forward to having this continue to grow. If we jump over to manage staking, it's gonna allow me to actually see my stakes. So I put my initial one in. I don't know why it only did part of it. It kind of got messed up. So really these are the same thing. Both of them are 29-day stakes, or maybe I put them in for 28 days. I can't recall, but that's obviously pretty close. And then here's the market value, which is fluctuating. My my Drip, before I transferred it over to Wrap Drip, was worth a lot more than this, like more than double. And then with all the sell-offs and everything, really kind of rocked my total market value. So in the end, for me, not a big deal. It was Drip that I was kind of considering worthless. So I was excited to have a new platform to be able to plug it into to see if I could earn some funds here. So if the prices continue to fall, I'll probably buy more fresh drip using BNB or more fresh wdrip or DripX, and I'll add some additional stakes in here. So that is how you get in. Again, if you're already planning on getting in, I would recommend doing that early. There's of course going to be the payouts and everything as you start to stack up your payouts. Those will come on the 8, 28 day, 90 day, 369 day, and 888 day cycles. And there's a buy and burn mechanism, which is fantastic because this is continuing to grow. So this will help with the asset prices that we own. And I don't want to make this video too long. So what I'll say is you want to come down here to the documentation. This will give you all the fundamentals and basics, which I basically already told you. You can read through the virtual mining, how that works. This is important, the BNB distribution breakdown. So you're gonna be able to see what percentages you're gonna get. BNB payouts, this will explain 28% for the 8-day cycle, that 28, 90, 369, and 888. Read through the buy and burn mechanism and check this out. This is the ways to earn. So we've already talked through these basically, but there's gonna be farming on the V3 pools, which will be LP tokens that are wdrip, BNB, and DripX wdrip. There will also be arbitrage, which is just going to be the price between drip and wdrip. So when those get out of whack, there's earning opportunities there. Because there's going to be so much more traction and utility in the ecosystem, everything that's tied together, you can just hold. So if you've just got DripX, drip, or wdrip sitting in your wallet, and you may just want to hang tight and wait for the prices to go up. The main one that I'm getting to, as you saw, that I put most of my money in is using BNB to mine DripX, right? I'm going to be able to park my BNB, and then every day I'm going to be getting crazy APRs of DripX. And then staking. I took my DripX and stuffed it in there, and for that I'm going to get BNB rewards. So for the most part, I'm going to be an active investor, and I'm going to play with these two, and then when this comes available, I'm going to play around with this as well. I'm not too into the arbitrage, and I don't know, how many people will be. I do see a lot of people just holding, whether they just don't want to get involved in the ecosystem or whatever. This may be an interesting play because we could really see some good growth in all of these assets just because of the additional utility and everything. So it's going to be interesting to see. It's so interesting to make another video that has to do with the drip ecosystem and all of the community members that have been trying to piece stuff together to make the prices go up. Every one of those community members deserves a kudos for giving it a try, but I would say that nobody's really moved the needle, and we've not really seen this type of traction and growth in the drip price that we've seen since Matt and Eric really popped this off. So super cool. I don't know how it's going to turn out. None of this is financial advice. We all saw what happened to Titan X, and that thing blew up. So if we've got anything like that at all, and we happen to get a bunch of the Titan X users come over to do this because they're familiar with this type of platform, it could turn out to be a really, really lucrative investment. And that, of course, is what we're all here for, making money. Anyway, that's my quick tutorial on DripX now that it's actually live. I'm super stoked that we can actually do something with these assets, and I'm really pumped to see if this one pops off. Hopefully I make that $400,000. Anyway, thanks you guys for joining the video. I got to figure out my freaking camera, but when I do, you'll be able to see my face again. Until then, happy investing.